Yes, welcome back to Footy and Friends, brought to you by our good mates Carlton Dry, the official beer of the AFL. Brettles, how are you, son? You are?
I'm well. I'm rested after a good night's sleep, but the day before, I actually drove from Adelaide all the way back to the G just to do the...
Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Were you getting your bloody hours up, were you?
Yeah, I'd need to. Yeah. No, we had our Easter over there with Katie's brother over in Aldinga, mate. And we went to check out that beautiful little part of the world and saw a few wineries.
I think it's Aldinga.
Aldinga.
It's
mate,
beautiful.
I'm actually from Victoria, not from South Australia, so I just call it Aldinga.
Okay.
Aldinga. Who cares? Does it matter? You know what I'm talking
It's
about?
a long drive, isn't it?
8.5.
Oh, yeah. Me and Link did it, remember?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I didn't get done for speeding, though.
Nah, neither did we.
We didn't mention that. But Brett, just quickly before we get to our esteemed guest at the moment, did you see that big great white shark that they found?
Yes.
Did you see that?
That was in the weekend before I was there. I saw it on Jackie Felgate's Instagram, and I sent that straight to my wife and was like...
Katie, bloody hell, no girls swimming in the beach. Look at this bloody shark.
Yeah, that's exactly what my voice sounded like. Yeah. But I got in the water. They had a lot of jet skis and boats and that going and checking and making sure. So,
yeah, and you were there too, so that would have been, I'm not bloody coming when this big bloke's here. You got bloody...
Des and Troy. What do they make together, mate? Hey?
Destroy.
Yeah, that's it.
Destroy sharks. Hey, goes without saying, but I'm not sure if he's planned this, Mickey Barlow. But after the weekend that was for North Melbourne and himself, he's had a bit of an RDO.
Yeah.
I think they've had a crisis meeting in there, and we've...
Circle up the chairs.
Bring out the mirrors, look at each other in the eye, and they might even have the... what are they called down there? Those whiteboard sessions with...
the stop, start, keep.
Yeah, stop, start, keeps.
Yeah, Ray McLean.
He might be called in this week. We'll talk about that later. But our man that we absolutely love, the first time we've seen him this year...
Yeah.
Robin Nahas. How are you, son?
Yeah, thank you. I've been trying all year to get on. Really.
No,
I've been sending text messages, nothing.
You have actually.
Yeah, finally.
When I see a random text message into the group, there's
where's my go? And I don't get invited to anything.
No.
Go around. No.
You know what? He does get...
He's like, hey, what's going on?
What do I need to do to get on?
Yeah.
What's going on, fellas?
I know it's been a while, but you remember you got to do the mag and speak into the actual mic.
Is it not?
Yeah.
Oh, just little. So
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
Done.
Perfect. Sorry. Is that right now? Good.
How you been? How's it all going, mate?
Yeah, life's good, mate. Playing local footy down at Gembrook with Spud Frito.
How is Spud?
Spud's good. He was 0-2, so he's under a bit of pressure. But we're doing all right. That's about it.
Is he running around Big Spud as well? Or?
He's trying to, but geez, he's old now.
Is he taking kick-outs?
I'm taking the kick.
Oh, of course you are. Of course you are.
I've got a story about Spud Frito. I don't know if I told it on here before, but you know when you're a kid and you fall in love with the game of footy and like you do the clinics and the kids come out to your schools?
Yeah.
And because I was in the city, so North Troy Primary School, right in the middle of the city, not many footy players ever came out because I suppose you get to go and see them as much as possible at the G and whatnot. And the first player that ever came out to our school was Spud Frito.
Yeah, right.
And
so you loved him from then, did you?
well, I did. I did love him, and I found out it's Big Spud Frito. Not the first bloke you think would be a childhood superstar, and not just didn't know who he really was at that stage, but he became a very good player. It was before he actually took over the 11, the Glen Archer 11.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is
What number was he then?
I can't remember. Let's call him
Do you want me to
later. Yeah, but the reason I actually fell out of love with him...
Later?
No, I reckon we call him. The reason I fell out of love with him was a few months later I heard, because I was always keen to keep in touch of what he was doing, and someone heard he was buying cigarettes at the the supermarket. And I wasn't happy with him after that. Was not happy with him.
Yeah, right.
We'll call him.
Can we give him a buzz?
Whenever you want.
Should we buzz him?
Nah.
Okay. Can we buzz him?
What for?
He's rude. Well, he wants to know if he had cigarettes.
Yeah, I want to know if he remembers.
Okay.
Look, Lids, give him one buzz. What did he do to you? Did he shut you down once?
We had a few good tussles, I reckon, because he was a halfback.
Are you scared to talk to him?
Nah, not at all.
Robbie, sounds like he's scared to talk to him.
Not at all. Call him, mate. I'm just trying to keep the show moving.
Yeah, okay. But people do
started.
like calling the niche players.
Yeah.
Moving on. Just on that, do you remember the first player that ever came out to your primary school?
Yeah,
First player-
Josh Marnie. And I remember saying to him at the time, because it was he was with Collingwood, and I was like, oh, we heard that Anthony Rocker and Severio Rocco are coming. Where are they? I was like, now I realise how bad that actually sounds when you're a player. You go, oh, we didn't want you. I remember when I was with the Giants, we'd go way out west, out to Penrith, and they'd be like, where's Issy Folau? I was
Yeah.
like, nah, wrong code. He doesn't play here anymore. He's
Fuck.
been done for 10 years.
Mate, some of the places we used to go out to in Western Sydney, like they did never seen a footy before.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. No,
So,
like
so
genuinely.
where are you from? The West Tigers? Nah, we're not from the West Tigers.
Like, bro, how are you playing footy?
Tendai Muzungu was my first one.
Tendai.
Oh, Dustin,
Good man.
Dustin Fletcher. That's
Oh,
pretty
yeah?
good. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
Fletch. That's a good one.
That's a great one.
Where do you grow up?
Oakley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Rewalt. So we had a pretty good one, Jack Rewalt. I think there could have been one before, but that's
That's one you remember.
earliest I remember.
Yeah, nice.
On his own.
Nah, whole group of Richmond boys. You weren't there?
Nah, I didn't. I remember going to Swan Hill.
You wouldn't have. Brett would have been the ones like he wouldn't have gone to
if
the
it was
ones
in
far
up that
away.
way, I would have gone more to Kai and Chuka.
Yeah.
Because it's close to home.
Yeah, and you could go on to see Boris when you were there.
He wouldn't have been around back then.
Yeah.
For some reason, the only two I can remember,
You could have seen Buster.
the only two I remember was Rewalt and Conker.
Oh, yeah.
Weird.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's just spurred me out there, and this is good sort of production craft. Is if you have a good story about seeing a player,
Yeah.
please shoot in your primary school, high school, when you first met a player, what happened, where were you, and who were they? Niche the better. And we've got some new merch coming. We'll be giving away some really good, actually, we've got some caps, so we'll give away some caps for the best stories. We've got some new stuff coming really soon. Let's get into it. We'll get to your stuff in a minute, Robbie, about everything else we're doing, but round 6 tips.
Yeah. That was a stinker.
Bloody hard this week,
I
wasn't it?
was
You
not
had
great.
3.
Oh, of course I did.
Mick had 2.
Mick had
5.
3. I had 5.
Yeah.
So I've taken the lead.
Lead by 1. Mick,
38, 37, 28.
well, we did say, what did we say? What did we put on at the start? It was a nice dinner, wasn't it? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
nice
for
dinner.
all of us paid
Yeah.
by the loser.
Yeah.
That's great. Mick's going to keep tipping the ruse.
All
and-
you and I have to do is just keep
keep it
up
the
here.
same.
Yeah.
But no, you there's a couple I was looking through there before that you tipped Port over Sydney, which I'm not happy about because, like, seriously, 10 goals, 17. But we'll get into the tips
Yeah.
later when we go through it.
Yeah.
but,
Yeah.
yeah.
Big round. Hey, I actually watched literally every game this week, so I'm very excited to
Great.
give
I
some
can't wait for your
analysis.
insight.
I'm going to give
Yeah.
a lot of analysis this week.
Yeah.
Before we do though, Robbie, talk us through what you bought in for us, mate. This is
well,
because you hit me up about this, and I
know,
actually
I did
didn't
that.
understand what you were talking about until now.
So I've bought into this company. Me and my mate to sort of set this up. It's called Richard Wash, which is sort of an intimate wash for men, and it sort of just suits me.
As
pretty
in
well. It's called
dick
Rich-
wash?
It's a dick
It's
wash.
called
It's
Richard
a dick wash, Brett.
Yeah,
I
so
didn't
it's,
realise.
Hold it up
Can
to
you
the
say that?
camera.
Can
You
you say
sort of
that?
just, yeah.
Yeah, can you say
Is it
that?
for fories or
Do you-
for...
It's just hygiene, mate. It's beautiful.
Do
Actually.
you don't wash yours?
Sensitive
I
skin.
don't need to.
Can you say that? Matt, got it?
Yeah. Can I have some?
Yeah, I've got a couple of bottles out there for you.
So that's it. Where can you get that?
Richardwash.com.au and then
Yep.
Instagram Richard Wash.
Richard Wash.
That's
Richard
what
Wash.
Isn't it perfect? Like,
So yeah,
can't
so
ask
you
for anything
only
better.
used for the Richard.
Yeah.
You only.
Yeah.
Oh,
soap
you
for
can use
everything
no,
else.
you can
Yeah.
use it for the body.
It's a body
but
wash.
but it's an intimate wash for men, so it's right on my alley,
Yeah,
I
right.
reckon.
Yeah, there you go.
Right,
You'd
there's
go
a
through that
couple-
whole bottle in one go, wouldn't you?
Yeah, this is
That's silly. Mine would last at least 24 months.
yeah. So get all over it, boys. So it's great.
Fantastic. We'll put the link in the show notes for some Richard Wash, and Mac will be
I'll
using. You
film-
might be able to wash
Maybe
the
I'll
Cocoa
film
Pops out
myself
of your.
giving a review,
Maybe not, mate.
washing it. Play on. Yeah.
Anyway,
All right, let's clean it up.
We'll move on from
Brisbane v Collingwood.
Brisbane Collingwood.
Yeah.
Big game.
We all tipped Brisbane, thinking that they were starting to get on a bit of a roll. Collingwood, not sure. But they're starting to fire at the moment, aren't they? The Pies.
Mate,
Too
unbelievable.
old, too slow. Nah. Too good.
I think when you look at Brisbane, I think they've won 19 out of 21 or something.
At home?
Well, no, just in the last 21 games.
Shit.
I think they've won 19. So they're always going to go down. I think they're always going to have an off week and a 5-day break. So I don't think it was that surprising to lose that game, to be
Yeah.
honest. I think they've been
Yeah.
up for so long. But yeah, Collingwood, Jesus. That was
I'll just break some news here. Have you guys heard of a guy named Nick Daicos?
good. Yeah.
He's son of Peter, brother of Josh. Yeah?
Son of Peter, yeah, brother of Josh, yeah, the younger brother. He was amazing. Now,
mate.
you could probably talk to this better than anyone. Maybe yourself, Robbie, at Gembrook, how they come at you. But the level of like intensity that they put into him at some points with the brawls and what was it?
And Rayner cleaned him off the back of the
Yeah,
square.
Rayner, Berry, and Dunkley sort of like going at him, and to still perform at that level and
Yeah.
the intensity that he runs at.
Yeah.
Like that's. You can comment on this better than anyone. Like, how hard is it to do that when the whole team's doing a job on you?
Yeah. If you've got someone who's just blatantly there to try and stop you, it is bloody hard. And I don't think they really, like, Berry went to him in the second half.
Second half.
But he wasn't. It was like when you're not set for someone for the whole week and you're going to go out there and just try and nullify him, it's sort of like, I'm going to do my best to quell him here. But when he come, like the whole team's going after you and you can't get any space, but still to be able to produce what he did, mate, he's just that impressive. And when you're getting compliments from guys like Simon Black just saying, we are just witnessing greatness here with some of the... If you go and watch him live, his running power is as good as anyone's in the game. He just hammers after he gives one and then goes again. Yeah. I'm lucky. I'm doing the Anzac Day game this weekend for ABC. I cannot wait to watch him live because he's just a little genius. He's just like watching Gary Ablett when he used to just get excited to see how many touches of the footy he'd get.
He reminds me of like Chris Judd with better skills. Like, not that Judd didn't have great skills, but I reckon he has that burst of speed.
That's a fair shout. Yeah.
Burst of speed out of the pack. But he also has that change of gear too.
Yeah.
Like he goes from fast to extremely quick too as well. Like it's quite elite.
I'm actually mates with Juddy, so I wouldn't say that. I'm pretty good
Nick
mates.
Daicos is a better kick than Juddy.
Nick Daicos is one of the best kicks I've seen play.
Juddy's one wood was not his kicking.
Your words, Brett, not mine.
Mate,
he's spot on.
Oh.
Did you ever get tagged by a whole team, Brett?
Geelong was very hard to play against because once they worked out when they got really good, having Lingy who just clamped you and was hard to move, if you actually did break him, Jimmy Bartel would cover off, Wojcinski would go and get you, or someone else would just... Yeah, a little bomber.
How good was he? He was good. He played on him a fair bit.
And they make it really hard for you. Krause and Freo were hard as well. Like they would just give it to you. Matty De Boer would make it go out of his way to punch you, to make it really hard for you. But yeah, it's tough. But what he's doing is amazing.
Yeah.
Just quickly to wrap that up, the running power. Like I went to gather around and saw them versus Swans and seeing him there as well, like live as you mentioned, and the way he runs too, you know when people sprint and then they don't look like they're sprinting? Like he keeps his body so upright that's how he can still receive the footy. And it actually reminds me, I know this sounds really stupid, but it reminds me of Chris Yarran.
No, that's a good call.
He ran
so
the legs
quick.
were just pumping.
And the thing was, it wasn't so that...
He was balanced.
He was balanced. And like people... It actually, like a lot of people are that quick, right? But it's how balanced you can be while you run and still get the footy. Because maybe all of us at full pelt, maybe not you, Brett, you're quite good at it too, but at full pelt, you can't be composed and still kick and handball, whereas he can do it at 100%, which is really cool to see.
Do you remember we used to have the red jumper? Like if someone was getting tagged, you'd put the red jumper on and you made sure that they got the footy.
We used to go to training and Brett used to get the orange or red bib, and we'd have to give him the ball at every single drill.
I like that drill.
Just have to handle
that
the
drill
footy.
for you. Well, did you ever have to do like... I had to do this a few times. Say we're playing Hawthorn coming up one week.
Oh, you're the twos.
I was in the twos team and I had to like put a bib on, a yellow bib, pretending to be Cyril Rioli, and everyone would just come and bash the shit out of me. I was like, hey, boys, this is fantastic. You're doing it at training out in the back oval, but how about you fucking do it in a game? Because you just lost by 200 points and Cyril kicked 6.
Yeah, we used to have to do every team usually had to do the opposition best players and try to nullify that. But I just used to remember training. Yeah. Brett used to get the footy the whole training session, or used to cry if he didn't get the handball.
Oh, he still does.
100%. But that's what he has got on every single time he plays. Like they go out of their way to give it to him, and the reason they do is because he makes great decisions.
He's a elite kick.
Yeah,
love it. Good on your Pies.
Yeah, that does too good. And they're probably showing that they're the team to beat at the moment with the way they're going, aren't they?
Yeah.
I love what they're doing. It's great.
Good on you, boys. Just quickly, you mentioned before about Matt De Boer, and last week, you know how we spoke about Fremantle having the best rookies picks, and someone actually messaged in, I don't know if we can find the message link, it was a really good one. They said, Adelaide hold my beer, because Adelaide Crows, if you can look up their rookie selections as well over the past sort of 10 years have been very, very good as well. So I'll leave that with your link and we'll come back to it later on.
I do remember seeing that being posted.
Yeah, it was a really good one. North Melbourne versus Carlton. This game was
wafty.
This was.
So Mick and I both tipped North, and we were optimistic about what North could do after they touched up Melbourne at Marvel. I was like, you know what? I think they can actually. They match up okay in the midfield. I think they've got some young players that can hold their own in there. I didn't think Carlton were going crash hot, but I didn't expect this scoreline, to be completely honest with you. And I think they piled on a few late. They really dropped their guard late, the Roos, but jeepers. That's an absolute. And what was our stat? I reckon last week. It's just like, don't let them score over this many points. Well, start listening to the BWS stat. I reckon.
While he's not here, it's a good
Mick?
time to chat. But do you reckon he's actually taking these stats to Clarko?
He can't be. He can't be.
He hasn't listened to one of them.
Because Clarko's
It's
going
just
to
like,
go.
don't let him score too much.
And then
That's
like,
the one stat we give him.
And I think that Clarko's going to maybe
That's a fair
find this
stat,
one day.
though.
Someone
Yeah.
close to him going to go, hey, look, Mick knew all this stuff. And he goes,
Mick,
why did you bring that to me, mate?
this bloody ladder, hands in the sauna. How about the BWS stat, Mick? Where were you?
It's just as an ex-North, like it is quite frustrating. to
Yeah, I
watch.
can
Like
imagine.
with their list, I think their list is quite good. Like I love Wardlaw.
So what are you saying?
I'm just not sure of why they're so far behind. Like you look at other teams rebuilding quicker. Obviously Hawthorn are enigma in this, but you also look at their list, demographic. I think who they've added to with a bit of experience. I think they should be a lot better than what they are. So I'm with you. I've tipped them 2 weeks in a row prior to this, just thinking, geez, this is the week. I was off them this week, but yeah, and I hate Carlton too, so it's not much
That's
fun.
probably
It
right.
makes it even worse for me. No,
Yeah.
I tipped Carlton. That's how much I'm struggling with North at the moment.
Now, we've had this one through. Sammy Bonzar used to work here, absolute North nuffy. Sammy loves the North football club and a lot of
How is
fans
Sammy?
do. He's well. Saw him the other day. He's doing a lot of running.
Is he?
Very fit. And he sent this one through in the North Melbourne Shin Boners. This is a Facebook group.
Chin boners.
Shin Boners. Chin, not the Chin Boners, the Shin Boners. Former North Melbourne player Ryan Bastanak has offered his hand in a bid to help the club back on the right track.
Okay.
We all need to try stick together now more than ever. And a few love hearts. And it's a screenshot of Basti, Bruise with Basti, saying, I want to help North Melbourne official in any way possible. I honestly believe I can help them. I've been around footy clubs since I was in nappies. I get footy clubs and know how to bring people together. People just don't want to believe that, though. Offer will always be there for that club. Cheers, cheers.
Yeah.
Would you get Basti down there to help?
Probably not.
Have you seen his Instagram?
He's a taste tester, isn't he?
He does.
He puts a lot of his own highlights on there.
Oh, I love, mate.
Have you seen those?
Yeah, I have, and he's actually
he was a good player.
Very
but
good player.
He
Like,
was a very good player.
He was
run.
He was a
good player.
He actually had an incredible handball. Like opened a lot of people up.
He's good.
That's a genuine.
Sorry, just off
compliment.
topic. Is this a piss take?
Oh, yeah, he hasn't even addressed it. He's
Is
just
it a piss take?
Mate,
I don't know. Who's
sorry,
that?
we're pointing to the
fan favourite.
Yeah, but I don't know because like I know Hinks really well. I know he's a piss. That's a piss take, and I don't know who that is.
Okay. Wow. Sorry. Okay. Let's just
Imagine
sure.
just looking at it. Oh,
Let's
sorry,
address-
no
I'm
one's
just
addressed
sort
it.
of thinking.
let's
I'm like,
address this
okay.
right off the top. Okay.
Well, not off the top at all, mate. You're
Let's
halfway
address
down the
this.
mountain.
Let's address
You're not off the
this.
top at all.
Let's address this.
Okay.
Robin Nahas,
I know that.
one of our absolute favourites, and you're here today sitting in the middle.
Yep, gotcha.
Okay. Dean Turlick.
Yeah.
Now, Dean Turlick was the last man to play the game in the modern. Now, man in terms of like big,
This is all deal though. No, this is
strong.
nothing to
These
do
are my
with us.
experience. Like he was formidable, very, very, very formidable in the VFL, mind you, for Casey Scorpions.
So that's what I mean.
But very, very good.
Casey Scorpions.
That's Clayton Hinkler. I don't know.
I know
I don't
Hinks
really
well.
know much about Clayton, to be honest. But apparently, he has a big Mercedes.
He used to.
And a jacuzzi.
Oh, maybe he does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So no, it's not a piss take, mate. It's
Okay,
just
fair
people who built the show together.
Okay.
Lastly, with North Melbourne, I don't know where we're going with that. Wardlaw, very good player and will be for a long time. But one part North have to be careful with is when they're re-signing guys and getting guys to stay at the list. Paul Curtis, you can't forget about him. Like he is
turned on.
playing some
Rufio,
very, very good
Yes.
football.
Rufio?
Off hook.
Yeah.
Hook?
Oof.
No, I haven't seen that.
Haven't you seen it?
No. But he's a serious player.
You haven't seen Hook.
I haven't seen Hook.
Ron Williams?
No.
Looky, I got hooky. No,
No, I haven't seen
I'm
it.
a
The
bit
quote doesn't help me.
not really.
He's a serious player in the management game. So you know a lot about this. Where would he be at, and would other clubs be looking at him going like, we could take him?
I think that he's a pretty important piece to what North are trying to do down there as a medium forward, along with the Bulls. Yeah, in terms of what is he worth? Do you think?
Yeah,
I don't know, 6 to 7 maybe.
really. And do you reckon he'd be getting paid that?
Probably not.
That's what I mean.
No, probably not.
So you reckon someone like, say for example, Carlton?
You got to remember though, mate. Like where 6 to 7 now is 3 to 4 years ago.
No, I don't. The numbers. That was Robbie talking about the numbers.
Yeah.
He was upset about
But
that.
it's gone-
Mate,
it's gone up.
I was on minimum chips 70K, so it's all good.
Yeah, but that's 140 now. Like
Yeah,
It's
inflation.
almost
You know,
doubled.
milk was $2.50, now it's $5. So it's all
Yeah,
it's all
relevant.
makes sense. You know, it's all relevant.
Yeah,
Doesn't matter.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's all relevant or relative.
It's all relative.
Yeah.
But just on him for a second, like I reckon they need to be careful. I don't know when he signed up to. Can we see that? Because
Well,
clubs
I
will
think
come
I
asking for
think
him.
a lot of the North's lists would be front loaded too. I think they would be smart enough to understand where they're at. Probably front loaded a shitload of their list so that they could on their back end they'd understand that as they're getting better and the players getting older, they'd have more room to move.
He's contracted till 2028.
There you go.
Okay.
Kane on Channel 7 last night went through all the long-term deals and basically just smashed all of them.
Except for Larky, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean smashed?
Kane went
Like he was
after-
just bad. He was basically just having a go
Yeah.
at every player that
So
was
Kane
signed
calls it
long-term.
something negative. Oh, that's
Hey, don't talk about the corn, mate. Don't
Don't open up that can of worms,
We're
mate.
not
He'll
going
go
there.
after you.
I
Go
like the
after
corn.
me.
I like the
couldn't care
corn.
less, Kane.
Someone
enjoy
said
some
that,
of his
someone
stuff,
said that I
but-
graze corn every episode, which is probably fair.
We have to. We're scared.
No, it's not.
Not scared. more
Mate,
like
even if we
respect.
are grazing him, like the thing
Glaze,
that's
the
great
word's
about
glaze.
is it glaze. Sorry, there you go. What am I saying? Graze.
Graze.
That's like eating a platter. Eating him. Even if we are glazing him, like the best thing about him is he'd still fucking double down. He wouldn't give a shit. So it doesn't matter. Anyway, let's say that out.
Can't double
that is
down
glazing.
if we're on his side though. We
No,
love
that's
you,
true.
Kane. Don't come out.
So what was he saying? What was he saying about the North
He
list?
just went. He went after Simkin, LDU.
Oh, you reckon
Sheasel,
LDU took too much?
Zar.
Didn't I say something like that?
Yeah, he
LDU?
was saying Sheasel just gets stats, doesn't have any impact. He said Larky. He basically said Larky's the only
No
one.
criticism for him.
Yeah, no criticism was the quote, and he basically just had to go at everyone else.
Yeah.
Cherry said he got smashed by
He
DeConing
did
on
get
Friday.
smashed, but he's been.
What about
good,
what did he say about Paul Curtis? Did he say anything about him?
Nothing. No, he's not on long term.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on. Carlton were very good, but they've beaten West Coast and North Melbourne, so I'm not.
They've won 4 games out of the last 20, I think, Carlton. And
It's
it's both-
4 games to the last 15. And they're both against North and West Coast.
Yeah,
Which is not an awesome stat to look at. But
No, it's not.
seriously
I
bad.
made mention of that yesterday on radio, and Luke Ball was like, "Yeah, but sometimes you need an easy kill." Well, when they're your only easy kills, it's
Sometimes
like,
you actually need to beat a team as well that's half decent.
yeah,
Carlton have got Geelong next week at the MCG.
yeah. So let's talk then.
Let's see.
Yeah,
Let's see then, eh?
It's going to be a good
yeah.
game.
Mackie's sphincter just tightened.
Yeah. Do you have anything to say about Carlton though? Besides that, not really.
No,
Good to see
George,
Zachy
I
kick
tell you,
forward.
George Hewitt, he's in all Australian form at the moment. With
Yeah.
some of the stuff that he's doing both ways, the ability to tackle, chase, but also getting a heap of the footy clearance wise. He's going really, really well. So give him some flowers.
Yeah, and Flanners, Tommy Flanagan, who's a massive Swannies man, he said that Carlton, the only reason Carlton are winning somewhat of a game is because of George Hewitt. And he said Carlton's 2 best players, albeit that Nick Newman's injured at the moment, are 2 former Swans that couldn't get a game for the
You don't
Swans.
think Tom DeConing?
No, he's,
This is Flanners' words, Matt,
Yeah, okay.
but he's saying he's 2 very important players at the Blues.
I really
And
like him.
I think Tom DeConing is going to the Swans, isn't he? So I'm saying.
Yeah, he's just got a license over there, doesn't he?
Oh, it's been reined in a little bit over the last
It's
little bit.
fantastic.
Yeah. West Coast Essendon at Optus.
This is one we all got right.
Yeah.
Just. West Coast were coming.
Oh, it was
I only saw the last little bit of that, and Flying Ryan playing on late in the
yeah.
game. What was he doing?
Geez, it would have been a good finish though.
Yeah.
Far out.
So you watched all the games. So
watched
give me a
them
bit
all.
of a rundown on this.
Elijah Hewitt was good.
it's
Very, very good.
So you read the best?
No,
17 in the second half.
he was pretty good. He kicked a very big goal late as well. I actually don't
So
know.
what happened to Essendon then? Why did they conk out? Why did they?
They came back. They were 5
Wasn't
goals
West
down.
Coast?
Oh, West Coast was up the
5
whole way.
goals down.
Do your research,
Yesterday.
Brett. Maybe watch
I'm
some
asking
footy
you the
before.
question,
Yeah,
mate.
well,
I was out for dinner. Sorry. It's my birthday.
oh, we actually fucking missed his birthday last week. I did know this. It was on Friday.
Friday.
You forgot mine, Leeds.
Good Friday.
Brett,
Leeds, you should just put in the group chat to my birthday.
how was your birthday?
I had to do that to about 5 groups.
How was your birthday?
Ah,
How was your birthday?
It was a drive from Horsham to Adelaide, and then spent the day on Aldinga, whatever you want to call
How
it,
old you
beach,
turn, Brett?
having a few tins. You wouldn't believe it, I'm 38. Yeah,
38, jeez.
getting a bit older.
I would have
Good on
given
you,
you a
Brett.
bell in the drive.
Do we look the same age?
Are you 38 as well?
Nearly. 37.
He's got a good bio age, Brett. He looks about maybe 35.
Thanks, mate.
Happy birthday, mate, for Friday. I actually
Yeah,
do
thank
apologise for
you.
missing that.
So I didn't see that. I was out for dinner. But,
Back to the game. Look, it was a pretty shit game, to be completely honest, but
Big Pete kicked 6 though.
He did,
which is
big
great for
back.
Pete, being back in the side. Big 2 metre Peter.
Is he a Max Sports boy?
He's a Max Sports
yeah, exactly
boy.
right.
Did Draper do his Achilles?
Yeah. Drapes did his Achilles, which is
Does that mate change anything for him in terms of his contract and what he's going to do, do you think?
Don't think so.
You think he'll just stay?
I think that he'll just take best offer at the Dons if they match whatever he's getting anywhere else.
Yeah.
With 2 metre Peter, and I know he's a
Yeah.
Max Sports boy, so you're glazing him because
Why am I
glazing or
him?
grazing, I don't know what it is.
That's
but
okay.
he now, when was he out of contract?
What do you mean?
When is he out of contract?
Oh, not for a couple of years.
Okay,
Yeah.
because he hasn't been in the team for a while. And
He
he's
Did
come
his
in
shoulder?
Yeah, but he hasn't been lighting the world
And
on
he
fire.
rolled his ankle at the start of the year, so he
Okay.
was out of the side.
We'll strap your uncle up, and then he's kicked 6 now, so he's starting to play some good footy again.
Well, he played 1 game. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his first game back, and he's kicked 6.
Good on him.
He's got the Anzac Day game on Friday.
Yep,
Which is another good challenge up against Darcy Moore.
yep.
Let's see how he goes.
All right.
What were you going to say?
He's straight bat, Liz.
No, I'm just going to say, like, it's one of those typical things of these fucking 200 plus people. Like, they're out of contract, they're shit for 5
No,
years.
well, he's not out of contract, so that's rubbish.
Well, there you go. They're crap, and then they have 3 good games and sign another $3 million for 10 years. Like, it happens every time.
Well, I've gone through this last time, and
That's actually shot at.
That's a terrible contract.
Terrible contract.
didn't I go through this last time and you yelled at me for having to go at Tommy Campbell?
No, go for it. Yeah, how they just
He's played
last.
58 games in
Yeah.
14 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's not-
Journeyman.
Yeah, but he's a good man, Tommy.
See, there we go.
Yeah.
Mate, sometimes you need a backup ruckman that is just a good person. Dawson Simpson was exactly the same. Like,
Yes.
just a great person.
Great guy.
That just,
You're starting on this because you're a good bloke.
Well, Todd Goldstein's going to play on Anzac Day this week because of Draper's injury.
But he was a star.
Yeah, well, he's 36.
He's a pretty good footballer.
yeah.
36.
But you still need a backup in case their number 1 ruck goes down,
Yeah.
like Draper. Oh, look, we need a backup.
What's the bloke's name that plays for Southport?
Braden Crossley.
Braden Crosley. Is that a chance for him to get picked up in the mid-season?
Surely.
As a 196 ruckman.
Well, mate, he was training on with Bulldogs.
I know he was.
You know, Port Melbourne.
Yeah,
VFL, that
yeah,
ruckman,
the
what's his
big
name?
Sudanese
AJ?
boy. He's
Nice,
a gun.
See, you knew what I'm talking.
Yeah.
He's got to go mid-season,
Yeah, I think so.
surely.
Moving on, Melbourne versus Fremantle. This was actually quite a good game. I did not see this one coming.
Well,
Freo
after-
would have to be flat.
After we had big Jakey Tracy on last week, I thought, you know what, they're just going to come over business. They've been here for the whole week. They're going to get this done. But I'm not sure. I think they might have spent a bit too much time in the cafes and didn't come out and fire a shot, did they? They were hard at it, the Ds. Loved the way they went about it. Cozzy Pickett, please.
Jeez, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Do you reckon he was just doing that to tell Freo,
This
hey,
is
I
like-
want an extra couple hundred on my contract next year?
At those zeros. Mate, he was impressive, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was really good.
That's a complete game. 5-2 and 24. Like you're getting the footy yourself, but you're kicking snaggies. Did you have any days like that, Oz?
30 and 4.
30 and 4. Who was
Round
that
7,
against?
2011.
Thank you very much, Freo.
Jeez, you took the piss that day, didn't you?
that's a lot.
Hey,
I only got one
You know
vote.
what? That was the day at the G, wasn't it? We kicked like 23 goals for the day. I remember
smashed them.
we absolutely smacked them.
148 to 99.
Yeah, we had a day out.
Pav was good that day, and Koch kicked 4, I think, as well.
Yeah. I remember just kicking back off half back, just like, this is
It was
easy.
a good day.
Just chilling out.
Well, me
on-
and you were just having a laugh. I was just like, this is... Well, because you didn't
You
get...
only won by, 60 points,
we
wasn't
didn't-
it?
Yeah, but 23 goals.
Yeah,
That's a
but
lot.
Richmond back then,
Mate,
that's a
this
big
was the
win.
second year after a rebuild. Like,
We were struggling.
yeah, 30 and 4.
On Freo, are they coached well?
He's very... no, I don't know.
I
It's like, I
don't
can't
thi-
comment on how they're coached, but one thing I will say is
I
I just
think
want to... I want to grab Longmuir and just say, come here for a sec. Let's get a bit of gusto in you, mate. Like, I feel he's very demure, very just like, very...
You really no presence, really.
Very, not no presence. I think he's got presence, but I just want him to
Can we look up
Just-
that word?
just give a bit of like...
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think you use it right, but it's okay.
What is demure?
No, that was
mean?
exactly spot on, I think.
Exactly spot on.
Reserved, modest, and shy.
Okay. Yeah, demure.
There you go.
Typically,
I want him to
used
just,
for a woman, though. It's also what it says.
Well, it's not just for women, it's for men as well. He just needs to just get a bit of gusto and a bit of more, just bit of...
You want to see a bit of fire in
I
the
want a
belly
bit of oomph in there,
post-game
just some
presser?
facial expressions and stuff, like when... Like, he's just very...
You want to see a bit
down.
of horse?
I want
bit
to
of
see
horse action?
Yeah, a bit of horse. Just get up and about a little bit. I'm not sure if he's scaring them at all. Which,
Yeah, okay. You reckon they need to be ripped in the line?
they're a young list.
Yeah.
I think they should be better than what they are.
Yeah.
I don't think they're coached that well, to be honest.
In what sense? Do you think they're not playing the
I
modern
think they
game?
play.
or they-
Yeah, just their ball movement. I think they play slow. I think with
their midfield, like you'd
that's what I'm
expect them
trying
to
to say.
be.
Too many changes. Like I watch Brayshaw. He sits too much at half forward. I think they tinker too much. I think they try to be too cute with positional changes, and I reckon it stuffs their flow
Link?
a little bit.
Your thoughts?
Yo, I agree with the ball movement stuff. Like there was times where Tracy, you just need to get it in quick to the big fella, give him a crack at it.
It's too perfect.
Yeah.
It feels too perfect. Sometimes it's
And
just about getting the
They had the one late where he did get a crack at it, and he half took the mark, half got pushed, and it didn't get paid.
Oh, that should have been a free
But
kick.
those are the sort of entries that he needs. Just get it in
get
there
in,
to the
yeah,
big fella.
one-on-one,
And
get
same
it
with-
in, get it
same with-
forward,
Same with
lock in
Amos
behind.
as well, because
yeah.
he's a slighter body compared to Tracy. If he has to keep competing, like it's gonna be difficult.
Jeez, I tell you what, Nev was good in the end.
Yeah, he turned it on the last
Jeez, he
quarter
flicked
when they
it.
were moving it quick.
Yeah, I really like him. Do you know what I liked from the footy on the weekend? There was 3 games where I sort of picked this up, and one of them I'll find else who it was. But Brayshaw at Fremantle like really got firing in the last quarter, and like leaders stepped up to get going. Dangerfield, we'll get to him in the Hawthorn Geelong game. Same thing, just inserted himself into the game. There was one other that I'm trying to remember what the game was, but it was just Bont was very, very good. But it's just good to see, isn't it? Like when guys just go, fuck it, this is not me now, let's get it going.
The David King, where are their leaders? Well, there you go.
That was
their
huge. And albeit, they did lose with Fremantle, but Brayshaw was doing absolutely everything he could to get him over the line that last quarter.
Yep. Well, I think if you look at the sorry, I got the Mickey Barlows. From Melbourne, Jack Viney went to Sarong early, did a bit of a job on him there. Maxi Gorn obviously had a huge game. And then they're your 2 leaders of your club, aren't they? That are setting the tone for Melbourne to get the job done.
Sean Darcy as well. I do love Sean. I know that our boy Joshy Tracy loves Sean too, but he got badly beat by Gorney in the last quarter as well. Just a few big contests that he had to bring the ball to ground.
I would say the whole game. It's 4 touches,
Gorn's at
kicked 2
28.
goals.
He's gone at 28.
And 28 the other way,
Yeah.
and 30 odd hit outs.
bad, is it?
That's
Not
not
bad
just the
for
last
a
quarter.
20.
A big contest in the last quarter. You know, the one thing that frustrates me probably with the big boys is when the game's late, all you need to do
Is compete.
is compete and go to your other ruckman. It's basically 1v1. Just don't let him
stuff it up.
fucking mark the ball.
Yeah, don't stuff it up.
How hard is it?
I don't think it's that hard. I think they're overrated.
Anyway, we move
Spoken
on.
like a true small forward.
Adelaide versus the Giants at Adelaide Oval. This would
game
go down as one of the worst
It
games.
got stopped at half time, didn't it?
It was one of the worst
It must
games I've
have.
ever seen.
Had to have got stopped at half time. That's not the
I
score.
didn't see this game.
It was shocking. There's no point even really reviewing it, to be honest, but it was shit house.
What happened?
Mate,
How wet was it?
it was like it rained, but it wasn't.
84 points.
Yeah, it wasn't
Points.
super wet.
Was it that wet for 86 points? Remember
No.
that game we played in Adelaide, that Port Adelaide game?
Yeah.
It was underwater, I reckon. You remember that? That
yeah.
was ridiculous.
That was our first
We
win under
scored more
Dimmer.
than 80.
We were 0-9. We come out and beat Port Adelaide over there on their home deck. Cuzzy warmed up in runners. Safe to say those runners didn't come back because you stepped into the ground and you went under, like your whole foot went into
Mate,
the
it was
surface.
ridiculous.
Great win by the Tiggies, though.
Go the Tigs. What year was that? 09, was it?
That was 2010.
Good on you,
10.
boys.
Yeah,
Good on you.
round 10, 2010.
Well, shout out to who was running around that day.
Ben Nason.
Benny Griffiths. Heap of kids that day.
Yeah.
That was the start of Dimmer's, or it was Dimmer's first win.
Yep.
Good on you, Dimmer.
Yeah.
Now, this game was bloody terrible. There's not a whole lot to sort of go through with it, but good win by Adelaide, I guess, even though it was
Well,
pretty shit.
I wasn't sure about Adelaide. I know Mick sat here and told us how good they were when they played them. I was like, yeah, okay, but
you're
yeah,
in North Melbourne.
but you're beating North. And they touched up Essendon, like kicked 25 goals against Essendon. So I was like, okay,
Conceded a fair bit, though.
you know. So it's a good win, but good to keep a strong side in the Giants to 34 points when your defence has been questioned. So I like that side of things. They just got the job done, didn't they? That's a win, like a strong win at home, which if you're going to play finals, you've got to bank your wins at home. So,
Do you know else who runs a similar way to
Ben Keys.
Daicos? Yeah. I'm not
he
saying I'm not saying he has.
No, but upright.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm
I
not saying
like
he's got the. I'm not saying he's anywhere near that level of godness, but Ben Keys is a very hard worker.
He's a straight runner.
Jeez,
He's underrated too. I think he's a good player.
He's
Great hair.
great
hair.
Yeah.
he has great hair. All right, moving on.
One
Tiggs-
on the coast.
Yeah, watch this space on Adelaide. They're going well. Tiggs v the Gold Coast Suns at Marvel.
Dimmer just hates going to Marvel, doesn't he?
I love Dimmer. I like Dimmer. Brett and
But
Robbie,
do you like playing football?
No, give us your. Do you reckon he fucks himself in the presses a little bit? Like he just says some dumb things. Or
What did he
not?
say?
I like what because he said how much he hates coming to Marvel.
Well, he said
That's
that.
ages
Then he had
ago,
a go at the Victorian Premier for staying
with it.
out of the
I agree
Noah
with that
Bolter
too.
thing.
But don't
Like,
agree with that. Like-
I don't agree with that. I think, look, if you've assaulted someone, should he have played? No, I don't think he should have played either. Like it was pretty bad what he did. At least
well,
wait
not-
for the court case to be done. I feel.
I
don't get political,
I
but-
don't really have
Yeah.
much
Yeah.
to say on it. Like, it wasn't a great look, but
It wasn't
at the
a
end of
great
the day,
look,
like,
yeah.
doesn't she have more important things to worry about than that?
No,
Noel
well,
Bolter.
okay. You like Dimmer? Do you like Dimmer?
Yeah.
I liked him.
Okay,
He did
I think
listen
he's
to
a
me,
good
and I
coach.
still like him.
Yeah, I do too. But I'm saying, do you think he should be commenting on that stuff?
Well, it's the same go. Should she be commenting?
Well, I think he's commenting on it because Noah Bolt obviously played a hand in beating the Suns, and that's a reason why Dimmer's looking for answers. Does that deflect a little bit? Probably. Ultimately, they just weren't quite good enough, were they? And they were beaten by a side that was up for the fight, and that's been the Suns' problem throughout their short history. Is that when the chips or when the chips are down a little bit, where do their best players go? So I'm still keen. They're 4-1, like they're going okay. The Suns, and they're beating some good sides.
Yeah.
So they're okay, but that was a game that should have just been locked away.
Good teams just get it done.
Yeah, and did they think, we'll just come down here, we'll just get this done, so you're a bit relaxed and
Holiday in Melbourne.
maybe.
Dimmer
that's
didn't
it.
have the suit on, did he? Didn't have the business trip suit on. Didn't
Well,
rock up
yeah,
and
the
say,
old
"Hey,
Giants.
this is a business trip."
Yeah, the Giants needed that every now and again to have the business trip. You weren't there. I don't think you played the game when we
doubt it.
we got done by Essendon. It was in 2019.
I highly doubt it.
We should have won comfortably. They came back, stormed home late, and we sat up until like 1 a.m. in the morning and just talked about what are we doing, boys? And I was just like, they're like, Lids, thoughts? Oh, Christ, boys, I just need to go to bed. I'm
pretty
cooked
pretty
here.
tired, mate. Pretty bloody tired. Speak about leaders as well that stood up this game.
Yeah.
Nick Vlaston, Vlaston is seriously a very, very
He's
good player.
How many intercepts did he have? Oh, mate.
No, he's so tough.
Seriously, pound for pound, one of the bravest players I've
Yeah.
played with. His ability to go and sit under a high ball,
Tough as nails.
tough as old boots, mate. Tough as woodpecker lips.
We knew that when he first got there, though. Remember when he first got there?
Yeah.
We just knew this kid could play. Like, he was a star straight away.
I actually was at the Knights with him, year below me. I'll tell you a story, and this was why it's ended up here, and he's ended up doing what he's doing. I remember we were doing a bike session. I think we're like injured, just like doing a bike session while the guys were doing pre-season. And I remember just like ticking the legs over, taking it easy, and I was getting picked up the next year. This guy was just fucking on like level 15, just turning his legs over like as hard as he could. I was like,
right.
holy hell.
Yeah.
This bloke's going to be a star. And
He was when he
is.
first came. Well, you could just see it. Some players just come in and you just sort of know. They got a little bit of aura about it, a bit of presence even
Yeah.
from day
He only a
one.
quiet kid though when he
Very
first got there,
quiet,
and
but he was always like a captain material. You know what I mean? He came in.
But he didn't like that because he didn't like that pressure of saying, I'll just lead the way I play. He didn't like that perception or that responsibility. And I probably challenged him on it at times.
That's surprising.
Yeah. But I had a lot of respect for and still do for the kid. I reckon he's a great young
Tigger.
player. The Tig.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
good surfer too.
Loves his surfing. Yeah. That was probably one thing I challenged him on. Most of his preseason he surfed rather than ran.
He's doing well.
Do you know who's been since he's come back? Rioli, Morris.
Yeah, massive pressure acts, didn't he? He had like leading pressure acts. or something.
Small forwards, mate. So important. Don't you reckon, Brett?
Yeah.
No, they
Dime
are.
a dozen.
Dime a dozen.
Get one. Go down to bloody EDFL and get one next week. Down to Dudas. Get down to Dudas Stars.
They are handy, but give me a centre-half forward or a centre-half back any day.
Yeah.
Marcus Bontempelli.
Good to see Taranto and Hopper fire up as well. They were good on the weekend, and you could see what that sort of win meant to them too.
Timmy
so,
was big.
yeah, very, very big. Moving on, Sydney versus Port Adelaide at the SCG.
Deal tip Port, hey?
I tip Port. I just love Port.
Do you?
Yeah, I love them.
Why? Give me a
Butters,
reason. Just players.
Rosie, Georgiadis.
You like their emotion, their ups and downs.
I like
They're
Port.
hard to get a read on Port, aren't they? Like,
Have been for a number of years.
Horny.
Frustrating.
You like the Hornet?
He is tough as a bloody woodpecker lips, as you would say.
Yep.
He's tough as nails.
Last 8 scoring shots to Sydney. Probably should have won that.
10-17 to 13-7, right? They were coming with a wet sail, and that's why I thought the Swans were the side to pick. But interesting to hear Paul Roos's comments on over the weekend saying they look like they're
Not coached that well.
game plan less. I think they're good players. If they play well, they'll win. But if not, then what do they fall back on?
But how many are they missing still from the grand final team?
Logan McDonald that I can think of. Who else
Mills?
is there? Mills.
Anyone else? Papley.
Papley's a big,
definitely.
Papley's a big barometer
Yeah.
for him.
I reckon they'd be.
Goulden's still not back.
Yeah,
So there's a fair bit. There's a fair bit out. still.
Goulden and Papley are big losses.
Yeah, but even having a forward, like McCartan forward hasn't worked. Yeah, he's a back, I think.
He dropped a sitter late. Was that him?
No, that was
That was McLean.
That was McLean. Yeah, Mick wasn't very McLean with that one, was he?
No.
McDirty, McDroppy. Call him McDroppy.
Yeah.
He should have marked that. That was bad. What about Francis just winding the clock?
13
forward or
touches,
back?
3 goals
Yeah,
in a quarter. That's a fair quarter.
Not bad. That's another 6 years.
See, exactly what I mean.
That's
There
another
you go.
6-year
There you
contract.
go.
There you go. Good on you. Well done, mate. Fantastic. Jesus Christ. I kicked 3 on the G and got fucking delisted.
It's all right.
Anyway,
I've been
this is what it is.
4 times.
It is what it is.
Only once. That's cute.
The game wasn't a great game though. But I was sort of on this the whole week. Heaney in that last quarter as well was very impressive. Kicked a really nice snap goal late. Just was urging the ball forward like he was.
He did that a few times last year, didn't
Yeah.
he? His ability to try and lift the boys late in the game. But, I mean, 2 and 22, like you probably want a bit more output, don't you? But, I mean, he's having to carry a fair load too. What did Warner end up with? In terms
He's
of-
struggling a bit, Warner.
Yeah,
I think
I haven't seen his output hasn't, like he's still getting his 20s
Yeah, but he doesn't,
thereabouts.
not breaking the lines. Like
He's not what he
does.
was last year, was he?
Nowhere near.
Maybe say to Heaney, hey, Heaney, don't wait for the last quarter to
Get
strap the
going a
boys
bit.
on your back. Get them going on the first.
Maybe.
do
Potentially, yeah. Well, I'll take
I
that.
like any forward. I don't reckon too much midfield time. I know Gordon's out, but I reckon him forward to centre is the way to go.
Dangerous matchup.
He's just a gun.
It's a bit like when you're playing, well, to be honest, second to none at the moment, Dangerfield out of the goal square because people just can't keep up with him. Like he's so
It was
powerful.
like Rue when he went down there as
He
a.
didn't call himself Modra.
Mate, he's
I did hear that.
really impressive what he's doing at the moment. But on that game, what do you see for the Swans? So they make the top 8.
No, I had him slipping out of the 8 at the start of the year, which is proving to be about thereabouts. I mean, what do we say after round 8 or 9? That's usually about where the ladder sits. Doesn't change too much.
I think they've got a little bit of leeway with their list to come back.
Get
I
some
think
good players.
Yeah, wait till their good players come back. I reckon they've got a little bit to go.
So I heard something interesting yesterday in that after round 6 last year, Hawks were 1 and 5. Lions we know where they were at. Hawks went on to play in the semi, like beaten by a kick to get into a prelim. Lions go on to win the whole thing. So we don't need to make any bold predictions. Everyone tries to say, see, I told you so. Well, I'm not going to think back to round 6 in this little podcast and say, see, I got it right. I don't care.
It's a bit of an anomaly last year, though, how tight the year was and how many good teams there were. I don't feel like it's as even as it was last year.
Let's assess at the end of the year
You're
because we
right.
don't know.
Oh, yeah,
you're
it's probably the only round all year where it's sort of been that many upsets. I think it's been pretty 7 to 10, 7 to 9 wins. 7 out of 9 most weeks, I reckon.
You're right.
I think so.
Good
Western-
job, Port. That's a good win by them actually, at the SCG, though.
Massive win. Massive win.
If they're going to stay in contention for the finals.
Western Bulldogs versus St Kilda at Marvel. God. Jeez.
No, I
Down
watched
the
this
barrel.
game. This was a good game.
What is it?
Down the
For
barrel.
the
for
doggies?
Bond. No, for the Bond.
Oh, for the Bond. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you hate, Saints?
No, I don't hate Saints. I actually don't hate the
He
Saints.
feels
at all.
for their supporters.
No, I feel for the supporters, and then they've turned on me when I was trying to be empathetic for them. I just said, guys, this was a few weeks ago when they beat Adelaide, or who'd they beat?
Cats.
The Cats.
That's round, wasn't it?
I just said to them, don't get excited. Don't think that the world's going to turn and you're going to keep going. I said, the same thing's going to happen. They're going to let you down at some point, and I've proven to be right.
Yeah. Just how good was the Bond? Like, seriously.
Mate, star.
Pretty good player.
Like, that's ridiculous.
I was nervous for Marcus Malone when you get to that sort of age. It was a similar age when I started to get those calf injuries, and I was like, when you usually get one, and we're seeing that with Adam Treloar now, aren't we? Like, you just can't shake him. But he's obviously...
And myself, bro. Don't forget me. I was there with you.
And Bont's obviously put the work in and
He doesn't look like he missed
doesn't look like he's missed a beat, does he?
He's
Like
probably the best Italian player to ever play, don't you reckon?
Yeah. Bontempelli, huh?
Over you?
Delerio.
He's a very, very good player.
Gianfagna.
Did you see with him at the moment? I know that contracts are coming up. Some West Coast apparently
No, I saw
offering
that.
him a massive deal, and then I don't know if the Collingwood one's real as well, but there's just big deals going for him. What would you think?
He's worth
Yeah,
best player in the game.
yeah.
How old is he?
29, I think.
Fuck, he feels like he's been.
He'd be
give
he'd be
him-
older than 29. I think he'd be like 30 at least.
He's
Okay,
He's 29.
okay, he's 29.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Then.
What's he worth? Like,
Would you be paying him
Blank
more
check,
than
blank
any of
check.
these other contracts going around at the moment?
Well,
For-
this
like
is the
Tom
thing.
de Koning.
this is the thing. Tom de Koning's got 8-9 years left of footy.
Yeah.
And you're paying on projection and what you think he's going to be worth at his absolute peak, which is where Marcus Bontempelli is right now. It'd be very hard to go out and offer him. Wouldn't be hard, sorry, but to give him a 4-year deal
justify it.
to justify paying him 1.5,
You would if-
1.6.
You would if you're genuinely in the window, but you probably couldn't afford him. If
But
you're
then,
genuinely in the
what
window.
happens
Yeah.
if these calf injuries keep going and he doesn't play like where Nat Fyfe's at the moment? Like, right, he's a genuine star of the competition, but cannot get his body right. But he's still taking a large chunk of the salary cap.
But has Bont missed a lot though? He's only this. I can't remember.
No, I'm
too
not
many
saying
injuries.
that, but this is where once you get to near
You've got
30,
scars.
this is what they.
You've got scars here.
No, but this is where they
trauma
start
for you.
to, but they start to question that, and I don't like it because I also look at Collingwood and say, well, Pendlebury side bottom playing career best footy, Howe still going mid 30s. You know, like let's not be so quick to turf out the 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I think
yeah.
it's
Because I think
ridiculous
we've
how
never
quickly-
been better in terms of recovery and
longevity
looking
of
after
game,
our
for sure.
players.
Yeah.
And, you know, you cannot buy experience. But is he going to continue to perform at 33 like he is now to warrant 1.5?
But the thing is, he can go with his size. You just put him in like what Danger's doing. You just put him in the forward line. I think.
Well, he's 194, 195 centimetres, so he
He's
can
just
still
got
catch it. And
yeah.
he moves like a cat.
He can move after his
Interesting
prime. He can just go
conversation.
forward.
Yeah.
He's just such a good player.
Didn't think we were going there.
No.
It's good. I don't think he'll leave, but if the wheels completely fell off that club and Bevo lost his job, and
I'm just going to say this. They need to change a coach. I'm going to say it straight away. Like that with that
they
list,
just won by 15
I don't
goals.
care. With that list, I think they've underachieved.
They've had injuries.
They've underachieved with that list by a significant way.
They haven't
They have.
Really,
They
I
know
think,
that.
I think he's performed really well with the players that he hasn't had this year.
They've had a
There's
lot
an
of
issue.
injuries in and out.
They've got a key
Yeah.
forward who could arguably be one of the best players who decided not to turn up. Well, Cody Waitman's a great little small forward.
I
Show some
him.
love.
Yeah, love him.
Out for the rest of the year potentially. Bontempelli's missed the first 6 weeks. Trelaw's missed the first 6 weeks.
That's this year.
All Australian
I'll
last
give you
year,
this year.
Treloar.
I'll
Yeah.
give you this year. But last year, you look at their list with back to front,
Yeah.
key position, spine, midfield.
100%.
How
Yeah.
are they not top
I
four?
thought
How
they
are they
would
not
have
top
been.
four?
Well, that's what their expectation was, but they didn't perform to that level, did they?
So that's my point.
Yeah.
I think as a list, they've underachieved
I think he's
for multiple
coached
years.
incredibly well at the start of this year.
This year's been
This year, I
very good.
know, but I think prior to this year, I think they're underachieved. I think a change of voice would serve them well. But
Yeah, I think he's. I like him as a coach now. This year, I think he's turned around, as you said. Like they're every chance to keep going. Really. How long is Sam Darcy out now with the knee?
4 months.
I don't know.
They said 4 months.
No, they said post-surgery they'll know.
Okay.
Okay, so
Well,
if he
let's
can
just
get
not
back,
mess it
it'd be big. It'd be very big for them.
He's a cheat
Jeez,
code.
he's a good player.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what,
Doesn't make it any easier.
mate, Joel Frazier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Where
rate
they
him.
find? Where's he from? Like how-
GWV.
Yeah, okay. So what pick?
Rebels.
Sorry, what pick was he in the draft? Like, was he a high pick, Mac?
Second round, I reckon.
He's a good
Have you
size.
just asked Mac what draft
yeah,
pick
I
Joel
think-
Fraser was?
Yeah,
He's
I
a
don't
good
know.
size.
He was
too.
up there.
No, it's just I asked
think
Mac
he's-
because
I
he
think he's
glazes a lot of the young
20s or
guys.
30s.
He's sort of like in
Did
the
you try
DMs
and slide?
glazing.
Yeah.
Did you get him?
Didn't throw that in the ring.
If
No,
as soon as he
definitely
doesn't
did.
get somebody, they're dead to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, you gotta
but
move on.
actually, let's not talk to him. Fuck him. Don't worry about it.
On to the next.
On to that.
Pick 45.
Wow.
Oh, so third
What a
round.
good pick.
Third pick for the Dogs in that draft.
That's a huge pick. I'll tell you, what, they do
you know
well
what
in
he
the
did?
draft.
He came out and had a game where he had kicked like 6 and had 20 odd, and everyone was like, "Wow, this kid." But then was sort of there or thereabouts for the rest of the year. Didn't really have that sort of game again. No, you can't just draft a kid off one game, mate.
No, but I think a lot of them do, don't they? Don't they see a potential? Like, so if I see a guy play a game and he's got the weapons to play AFL football, do you think to yourself, all right, let's just
yeah.
bank this kid?
Well, and that's why he's picked 44.
Yeah,
but that's
well,
not why he's not. That's why he's not picked 15 or 16.
No, I
If
don't-
he
I'm
had
not
done that
disagreeing.
3 or 4 times, in you
agree.
come.
Yeah.
Do you know what's funny though? You got those guys in state leagues and the comps, the coach league coming through that they almost get punished because they're too consistent. Like, they'll have their 30 and 1 a week, and then you got some kid pops up and kicks 6 and has 20, and they're like, oh, fuck, we'll draft this bloke now.
Yeah.
But you get
Because
punished.
the eyes have been picked out of the other guy.
Exactly.
They've seen him too much.
Yeah.
But his biggest weapon is he can run.
Yeah.
He's a really good runner.
good
He's like
size,
top
great
3 in the
size.
club for running, and that's what the modern game is. So
100%. Hey, boys, all season we're embracing the mid thanks to Carlton Dry 3.5%, the official beer of the AFL. This
we
week,
love 3.5.
we love 3.5s. This week, I'm going with an old bull,
Are you?
Libber.
Mate, how good was that rundown tackle on Brad
Libber's
Hill?
chase down on Brad Hill. I'm telling you what,
Yep.
when you get a player like him, that you can just tell he's just so loved by that club and his teammates, and he doesn't act like that. On Brad Hill, who's arguably one of the best runners in the modern game. Like, he is an incredible runner.
Yes.
And Libber just motors him down. Like, that technique, the running gate, probably isn't the best running gate I've seen, but he just did it and just got him down, and that lifts a footy club.
Yeah.
Huge.
Yeah,
So he's my
Embrace the
Carlton
mid.
Dry, embrace the mid, 3.5% for the week.
Yeah. Do you want me to go with mine?
Please do.
So my Carlton Dry 3.5 of the week is a guy who was out of the side for Geelong yesterday. Came in because his fellow Irishman teammate, Oisin Mullen, went out. So Mark O'Connor
love him.
comes in, puts Dylan Moore to sleep, and didn't know. So Oisin Mullen was going to play on. Dylan Moore was set for him all week. Laid out, bit of a little niggle. Mark O'Connor comes in. Good night. Put you to bed.
Mark O'Connor, do you remember he used to play on Lockie Neal in those years when Lockie, he just seems like one of the worst blokes you'd want to play on in the world.
Yeah. But
very
then one of the best
straight
blokes
back,
off.
very erect, very straight back, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He has a very straight posture.
I love the videos of him back home where he's singing and leading the songs in the pubs back in Ireland. They are brilliant.
Really haven't seen them.
Haven't you?
No.
Get him up.
Oh, mate.
Is he a bit of a
bit of a lad?
bit of a larrikin, is he?
Well, that's an Irish thing. He's
They're lads.
sing and have a pint of Guinness. you know?
Yeah, right. I didn't
Irish?
realise he
Probably
was
not.
into
Guinness
that
is
sort of stuff.
I know that, but I didn't sound Irish.
Oh, good on him. Do you have a 3.5 embrace the mid today,
come
Robin?
back to me.
Yeah, come back to you. We'll come back to you. Good on you, doggies. I'm actually watch this space on the doggies. I think they could be challenging.
I don't think so.
Neither.
Because their injuries are going to take a real toll. They've just lost their unicorn up front. Jamara doesn't look like he's coming back.
I don't think he's coming
And
back.
they've
I don't want
tried
to break
Lobby.
to everyone, but I just don't know. I don't think he's coming back.
Nah, me either.
Lobby's not a forward.
Lobby's too good back. I don't want to put him there. But if you think about it, with Fraser, Norton, can you fire up? Is it his opportunity to maybe stand up now that Darcy's
Well,
gone?
he was good once Darcy went out, if he could kick. But other than that, he was fantastic after Darcy went.
Yeah, it's time for Norton. It's prime for Norton to take over.
They've just got enough cover, I still think, even without Jamara and Darcy.
Don't they have some absolute depth?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I think list-wise, I think they should be top 4, fully fit list. Top 4.
Yeah.
Fair enough of that.
Yeah, that was their president come out and said that last year, I think.
Oh, there you go.
Do you think as well, Brett, Matty Kennedy at the Dogs,
Yeah.
the way he's playing at the moment too, which is pretty good. Do you reckon?
Carlton would be like,
Yeah, hey,
Should still have him.
buddy, come back here, mate. You know, buddy, come back over here, do you? Buddy, need you.
yeah. Well, I think he was just filthy with the pre-planned subbing from the semi-final.
Oh, yeah, the
last year.
pre-plan when Tom DeCroney came on as a pre-planned sub. Yeah, no, I agree. And to be honest, I'm still flat with that as well.
He's just like, nah, this is the line.
Moving on. Hey, this was Easter Monday game. I love Easter Monday.
Yeah, it's great,
There's honestly nothing better than just sitting back on the couch on Easter
Eating a
Monday.
few eggs.
Eating a few bloody
eggs.
Chucky eggs, treat yourself, and watching what is always a good game of footy.
It's a cracker, wasn't it? Like I was nervous given I'd watched Hawthorn the week before against Port Adelaide, and they just didn't look at their sharpest. With Will Day out, you know, I think he's a huge player for them with their depth through their midfield because it allows Warple and Newcomb to go and do other stuff. McKenzie plays better with him in the side.
What's the stat on Day not playing in Hawthorn? It's
they're-
quite high.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah,
it
I
was.
saw it the other day.
It was like 7 games. They've lost 4 of them.
Since the start of 2023, Hawthorn is 16-4 when Will Day plays and is now, including yesterday, 3-8 when he misses.
There you go. That was close. Yeah.
Brad, I heard they mentioned that on the ABC coverage.
we did. Yeah. I didn't mention BWS, but I could have. We're not allowed to mention sponsors on,
Yeah.
on the ABC.
Can you
Can I-
actually?
so
Yeah.
we've actually got a DM. Lads, few updates on Brett's ABC call today.
Oh, great.
So firstly, I don't want to disrespect anyone, but the old fella he was on with accidentally stuffed up a refreshingly BWS stat and said the Hawks win more games when Will doesn't play. And oh boy, did Brettle stick up for his little Max sports boy. Your math is absolutely terrible there. Hawthorn have a shocking record without Will Day. He then went on to say, we've seen some father-sons in the past not work out. Would he be referring to his good friend Dill there?
I did too.
You weren't thinking of me there.
No, I
though,
wasn't.
Yeah.
No. I wasn't talking about players who had been drafted. I was talking about friends who have got young sons that aren't even interested in footy. Like it's
Yeah,
just
like Max. Max likes his scooter.
yeah. Look, it doesn't just because your dad played footy doesn't mean that your son's going to love
Actually,
footy.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that.
No. Do you know what's really funny, actually? Over in Adelaide, Mac, Lincoln, and I were out for a few beers, and we were having a beer with Ben Lyon as well, and Gary's son.
Yeah.
And we were having a couple, and we got to that point of the night we were just talking. I can't remember what we were talking about, but I was just saying to the boys, I was like, look, Link, I know you didn't actually classify the father-son, and Ed's made his way there anyway, but I said to Benny, I was like, mate, how fucking shit were you at footy that, like, I at least got a minimum 6 years?
Yeah.
Like, and I ended up having 8. Like, it's pretty easy to get picked up as a father-son. You just got to have a little bit of talent and be not a bad bloke, and you last about 6 to 8 years.
Yeah.
And the fact that Benny, I said to him, the fact that you didn't even get picked up to Melbourne and how bad they were at that time, you must have been pretty shit. And he
What was
didn't
his
like
response?
that.
Oh, he stunk it up big time.
Yeah.
He wasn't happy, the big fella.
He wasn't happy. He wasn't happy about it. But it's his own
hanging around
fault.
Brett too much.
It was his own fault. So
Last point on the ABC call. They were introduced as the two men behind me are the best analysts in the game and a 2-time All-Australian Brett Deledio and also Luke Ball. I wonder how Bally felt as a premiership player and also an All-Australian getting no introduction while 0 premierships Deledio got a pump up.
Yeah. That's probably fair. I actually did feel awkward about that too. Because,
who was the old bloke that chimed in? Who was saying the old bloke?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Do you mean the caller?
The guy
Like, it's in
Corbin.
Corbin. Yeah, Corbin Middlemass is loves his stats.
He's
and he's
very
right
good.
across all that stuff.
No, but
So
who stuffed up the Hawthorn Will Day one?
someone texted in.
Oh, right.
No,
okay,
someone had
there you
texted
go.
in
Got
and said,
you.
"Oh, I don't think it was off the text line."
Off the text
so,
line. Yeah. Okay. Good on you.
Um,
Corbin's
oh,
very good, though. I actually heard him on what game was he doing on
He was
Fox?
Sydney Port game.
Yeah, he was very good.
Freo boy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
he's a
good.
Freo boy.
Cool.
Sticks up for the Dockers. Loves it.
Oh, that's funny. It's cool. It's all good stuff. This is,
On this game though.
Yes, no, but plenty on this game.
Yes,
I love this.
the Cats were, mate. They looked strong enough right throughout the game, but the Hawks just kept coming and throwing punches. They missed a lot of goals, easy goals. I think Stan Mitchell summed it up well, and then he said we were really good, but we made too many mistakes to beat a good side. And that's what they did. They a number of times just
Transition footy.
errors, but like
Even look at their last goal, Geelong was from a mistake.
yeah. Like Josh Weddle just tried to kick it into the middle to get their ball movement going, but read by Neil, kept it in. Shawnee Manor, I want to give him some flowers.
Yeah,
goals.
but just on the Weddle thing, it was that was a dumb kick.
Yeah.
I know you got to get the ball moving, and
It was just a slow kick.
It was
that
slow.
that was a problem.
But all day, they just seem to miss those targets.
I'll
And-
tell you
and
who's not wearing those boots again is James Sicily. Mate, he'll be throwing those out.
he had 3 or 4 chances in that last quarter where he sort of just misread the footy, had his hand on
Yeah.
it, could have taken some.
It's not.
Him and Tom Stewart both had games where it's just like, right, wipe, start fresh,
Yep.
let's come out, train hard and get ready for this weekend.
Can I give another 3.5%?
Embrace the mid.
Oh god. Can I give another embrace the mid?
Yes.
I've got 2 this week.
Okay.
3.5%.
Yeah.
One of my closely up there with one of my favourite players in the comp at the moment is Cam McKenzie.
Really?
Why? He's just so clean. So clean, both sides of the body.
He
very
runs upright. He's
Very
like-
upright.
He reminds me so much of Sam Mitchell, the way he runs,
Jeez.
but way quicker and
Yeah.
taller.
No, I'm really loving the way he goes about it. I think he's going to be an absolute star. And I'm putting in a petition. And
Get him out of the 28.
Yeah.
You know, like Poppy's number on his
wrong
back.
with 28?
It's a shocking number, mate. I know you wore it as well. You made it look good, but I think it's the worst number on the list.
I just can't agree with that.
I think
At
it's the
all.
worst. I want him in.
What's wrong with 28? Like,
I want him in. And watch this space. I've made a big call early. Now, I don't want this to sort of eventuate, but I'm reading between the lines here. If Warple does end up leaving,
Take the 5.
take the 5.
Where's Warple going?
I don't know, but I just saw that he
Cats.
he was out of contract and they can't fit him in. So
mate,
if
what
he
number do you
does,
wear?
I'm 43 at the moment.
43, great number.
It's a good number.
Yeah, great number.
Yeah.
At the moment.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
changes around when you're reserves player. Sort of just get what's at the bottom of the bucket.
What did you make of Bailey Smith slamming the footy in a jam and Impey's
I
head?
loved it.
Yeah, I'm all over.
I'm all over it. I think he,
revving up the crowd. You know what? Like, we want players to have personality, and then you have a crack at them when they do have personality. So
yeah. There was a little bit of
Keep going,
cringeness
Bailey.
of it. Like I actually don't mind the ball into the face, but I don't really like the
Nah,
come
who
on, give it.
cares?
Yeah, it's not
I'm
really.
all over it.
He flipped a little bird again on the way off.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Getting carried away. He's on
I
a lot
will
of
say
money,
though,
must be,
Impey
getting
went
that
in
many
and bumped
fines.
him. He initiated.
Yeah.
You going to initiate?
He slammed the footy into his head pretty hard, though.
Yeah, that is true. That was.
Did
that
you
was
get
pretty
weeks for
hard.
that or just a fine?
Well, I don't know. Connor Nash is in some strife.
How many weeks is he getting?
Connor Nash, that was.
And it was an accident. He didn't deliberately mean to roundhouse him, but he caught him as clean as you can.
Yeah.
Did you hear Lee Matthews with what he's...
He wants to send him off.
You reckon that's something they should do?
Well, you're down one, and we had this in our 17 prelim. Sheely got collected by Trent, and he was subbed out. Koch, the captain.
Sorry, I just don't remember who that was.
Subbed out of the game, so we're a midfielder down for the rest of the game. While they get to have a full list of players to play.
Here you
with.
go. What it should be is if you lose a player to an act like that of concussion, then they get to take one send off as well.
What if it's an accidental clash?
That's the thing is there's so much grey with this and they get it wrong so many times.
Yeah.
Imagine they're getting them wrong.
Who are you leaving that to?
Exactly.
Some banana on the bench who's never played the game. I'm not. That's an honest.
No, it's a good point.
I can see the merit in it and
It's
I
hard.
can see...
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't...
But my thing is like I'm not trying to hang Connor Nash, but it's like it was an accident. Yeah, it looks bad and careless maybe, but he was trying to hit the ball, and he's accidentally caught Graham
he
Myers,
hit him
and you
well,
can see that
didn't he?
no players remonstrated with Connor Nash. He was just like, "Wow, that was
Yeah.
just a pure accident."
Yeah.
and everyone could see it was a footy
I had
act.
Myers for 15 disposals, so he maybe pays me back.
There you go. Did you
Are
DM
you
him?
one of those
Did you
blokes?
DM him?
Oh my god!
here
You should
we go.
DM him, and then he'll be apologise.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
he'd love
hard
that.
enough. I don't
Mate,
use it.
stiffen your jaw up, will
Yeah.
you? You cost me
The
multi.
the point around that as well. I think that the main, which is hard, but like the act of like an actual like punch or report or
So
something.
what
like
about Paddy
that.
Voss last week then? So he's gone to tackle Nick Vlaston, breaks his nose, doesn't get concussed. Nick
Yeah.
Vlaston. So where's the like that?
Oh, it's
that
too
looked
much-
like
it just
that looked like a
adds-
swinging arm, but
It's
he
hard
was
to,
trying
it's
to
hard
tackle.
to adjudicate.
Yeah,
It adds
I
too
don't
many
know.
layers to a game. It's already confusing.
Maybe we should get an official adjudicator maybe out of
Chamberlain.
the game, get Ray out there, and he can sit there and decide on what happens. Do you know one other rule
What
that I
about
wouldn't
sin bin?
mind? I think that's what we're. Yeah.
Well, it's
no,
I don't.
because you're out for the rest of the game with concussion. We're gone that far with that. You cannot just say, 10 minutes, mate.
okay.
Do you know one other rule that I'd like to actually see come into the game? Is in the last quarter, if you kick the ball backwards, it's play on.
Like we used to have that in the Wizard Cup or whatever.
VFL
it
used to have
called.
that.
It's
Not in the last
it's
quarter, but
big-
the whole
especially you look at the games on the weekend that was so close, and everyone wants the new
Man up then. Man up.
Yeah, but then it
No,
opens
stop
up a
trying
lot.
to
Of,
zone off. Man up.
yeah.
It'll probably add to a flood.
Because
you know you
then
can't
it
go
means
backwards.
if you have man up and you're not fit as if you're got Bailey Smith versus the next best mid and he's got some in the tank, gone. He gets out because you can't keep up
backwards
with him.
though, backwards.
I get that, but you're zoning because you're trying to save your legs. You're trying to team defense versus one-on-one defense.
but you're thinking about it from just the negative point of view. Like it actually would help the team trying to score as well, or the team that is actually trying to save time because movement helps movement. So like if you switch back and it's play on, it's going to press up. Like it helps the ball. It actually just helps the game open up and keep moving.
But then, don't we want the ball being kicked along at the contest? And you see the best players win it 1v1, get it back out. I think that's the. Yeah. Anyway.
Yep.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying, well, don't sit back and sag off because the amount of times that gets frustrating and players that just drop off a little bit.
Yeah,
easy
hit
touch.
it.
Just drop off. Be better.
Just before we finish up as well, the Hawthorn Geelong game, Shawnee Manor, very good.
Yep.
If you look at their best, and I know we do look into it, Manor,
Yep.
VFL, Atkins,
VFL.
and Dempsey was quite a low pick as well.
He's taken from Carey. Carey Grammer.
Yeah, quite a low pick. But I just love their players. They're very, very good.
They're as good as anyone at list management, and
They find them, don't they? Lawson Humphries is another one that they.
they pass up on good players as well, which is the best bit about it. Don't you reckon, Lids?
I was never.
They're
a
more
chance.
about they're more about culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
bloke.
Yeah.
Oh, don't go there. All right, to finish up, hey, we're doing AFL Clubby. It's coming up. We've got an 8-week program starting next week on Thursday night.
Whereabouts?
It's actually just down here at Hawthorn Citizens Ground. What's
Oh,
it
is
called?
it?
Can we get the link of that up?
I
quickly,
might have
sorry?
to come down for that. I got to get fit for this Carlton,
Mate, 100% you
Carlton
will
draft game that I'm playing.
I asked you before and you said you were fit.
Let me just
I am
quickly
fit.
get that.
Always naturally fit.
Just needs a bit of touch, don't you?
Yeah, and just got to condition the calves a little bit. Yeah,
like
got
your
to
hair.
kick the quads in a bit.
I'm happy with the hair.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I'm
looking
growing it
very
out
good.
a bit at the moment.
Yeah,
Well,
he's
young,
looking
get
good.
the tips back.
I might. Yeah. You think?
I reckon.
I'll put something on the line over the
I'll get
next
this.
few
Get
weeks.
tips.
This up. Hey, before we finish up as well, and Brett, you listen up because I need you to come down to this. AFL Clubby 8-week training block
For the whole 8 weeks?
8 weeks is a training block.
better talk
It's
to
on
Katie.
Wednesday nights from May 7th to June 25th. It's 6:30 p.m. start at Kevin Bartlett Reserve, so just around the corner here in Richmond.
Oh, yeah.
Remember Kevin Bartlett? Play for? Would you
Yeah,
play
play for the Tigers, mate. Yeah, number 29. What are your thoughts on that?
He actually wore it pretty well. Yeah, he loved to go.
Similar hairline to you.
Oh,
KB.
okay. Now this, we've actually got this 8-week pass.
Bring that
and-
up.
No, we've got this 8-week pass, by the way, which guarantees you literally every session 8 weeks, so you can come through and get. And now that's, I think, pretty much 80% filled.
Yep.
If there's any then left over from that, you'll be able to do single sessions, but we want to get a full 8-week training block in there for the ones that want to commit to the 8 weeks. So it's still on sale. It's $100, but that guarantees you the 8 weeks, and it also gets you a kit from Lululemon. So basically, it's just paying for your own kit to come down. It's pretty much free. We're putting it
Lulu,
on.
love Lulu.
We've got Mickey Barlow's doing it. You're going to come down, Brett.
I need a
and
bit of touch,
You're
yeah.
going to get some touch before your Carlton draft game.
Yep.
We've got the complete curriculum is developed by Clubby Sports with Mick Barlow and Andrew Russell, so former
yeah.
Carlton and
So
Hawthorn.
there's running in there.
Well, it's going to be just to get your fitness in and get it all going as well. You get the Lululemon training kit, as we said, and there's just going to be a heap of guest appearances, and there'll be an awards night at the end of it as well. So,
Two froths after each session? Or?
oh, you'd think so, Brett?
Yeah,
You'd think so.
come to
don't
Carlton
you?
drive
Yeah, you'd
3.5 so
think
you can still drive home.
Exactly. So that's available. There's, I think, about 20 left. It starts next week. And, just jump on clubbysports.com, go to AFL Clubby, and you can get your pass. As I said, we want to try and get the same crew for the whole 8 weeks just so we can commit to. But if there's some left over, we'll have some other passes as well for other ones to come down.
Like it.
be
You
good.
get down there, Uz? Maybe a little midweek session, get your touch up for Gembrook or whatever you're playing?
can't. I've got my Wednesday nights. I coached under 14 sides. Round 1 this week, actually.
Oh.
Wow.
East Melbourne Knights. So shout out to East Melbourne Knights, round 1.
How are you going to fit that in? Because is that on a Sunday, the East Melbourne night?
yeah, Sunday.
Let me know when the Pie Night's on. I'll come down.
Yeah, absolutely. Would you?
Mate, it's only around the corner.
Beautiful.
Oh, that'd be beautiful.
Should get you guys down there,
Oh,
actually.
I'm on the other side of
you're
town.
away.
I'm on the other side of town.
He's got a baby coming too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boys, how we thinking?
Good,
All
eh?
good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's good
Yeah,
having
good.
Nahas
There's a bit
back,
going
isn't
on. Brett, thanks for your time as always, mate.
Mate.
Always good to catch up with you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Robbie, thanks so much for coming in, mate. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, always.
Richard
Thanks,
Wash, get it.
Yeah,
Richard
Richard Wash.
Perfect, Richard Wash.
Richard Wash on Instagram
Instagram.com.au as well.
and .com.au. We'll have the link in the show notes. Could we have a little discount code for the listeners? Maybe 10% or just a 5% or something?
Oh,
or?
I've got to speak to the business.
Oh, come on, mate. Get a discount code for the
I
boys.
can't be making those decisions on
You know
my
what?
own.
I'm going to put in a discount code. You let me know before we release today. But 10% off. Use the code Footy and Friends _. Don't forget the underscore. That's a 10% off.
Wash it.
For Richard Wash to wash your Richard.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
There you
Appreciate
go.
it.
Good on you.